Hey, good afternoon. My name is Priya. I am born and raised in Mangalore in India, a small, beautiful coastal town. I've been living in Singapore for 20 over years. I'm married with two kids in university in the US. Uh, on the professional front, I'm a chartered accountant with over 25 years experience in finance in the corporate world. Very recently, less than 6 months ago, I started my own advisory services outfit. So at older age, I must say I'm my own boss finally. Yeah, that's me. Actually, personally, with the COVID, I know COVID is terrible for everybody, and there was so much of death and so much of sadness and so much of fear in the world. But for me personally, I think being in Singapore, I think I had it good, much better than most people, and I think everything that was supposed to be a restriction, I somehow managed with friends and family to turn into an opportunity. So I think for me, it was a good reality check. Um, I think a lot of gratitude, understanding what really matters, what really counts. Like I said, I was in this so-called high-flying corporate senior management role and flying around the world, long meetings, board meetings, blah blah blah. And I quit that end of Feb with a plan to travel and see the world and do things that I always wanted to do and I didn't have time to do because after starting I work and then children and then how you get into that routine. And all that changed with COVID. I did not even reach the bus stop, as I say. So that was for me, I think, the only thing that didn't happen. But right now, I realize that it really does not matter. And you had your family safe at home. Family in India was safe. Family in the rest of the world was safe. Most of my friends were fine. We managed through, and I think that's what counts. So, in terms of impact, really personally, I think I was just grateful, and I realized that slowing down, taking time for yourself, that health, which was the least of my priorities ever, was for me the most important thing, and that's what counts. And I think I realized that only now, and I needed COVID for that. Yeah. Yeah. Initially, I think when the COVID actually broke out, I was doing a lot of work with the migrant workers all along, yeah, and little bits mostly by myself. But when this COVID started raging through Singapore and the rest of the world, there was a lot of restrictions and there was very little I could do by myself, right? So I think what I would call a blessing was somehow connecting with the organization, the charity organization HIA, which is Hope Initiative Alliance. And this opened up for me such a huge channel to help and do something for the guest brothers in the dormitories. So, this is, I think, what I got completely involved in. And it really changed my whole perspective and my whole post-COVID days, I would say, or COVID and post-COVID days, and up to now, right? It kind of completely, it was a different story altogether. Yeah. So this is where I started off, and I'm very proud and also blessed that I could form an extended arm for HIA, which we call the dorm moms in an affectionate way. So we were able to set up a kind of a task force, about 15 of us initially. And when I got into it, I didn't really know properly what I am really going to do. But we helped HIA to do the feeding program for all the dorms, which is over about 200 dorms and about almost 10,000 plus guest brothers in the dorm. So throughout the COVID circuit breaker, even I think during phase one as well, we were still doing feeding, care packs, dry rations, making sure they have clothes, and just taking care of them. Also, the wellness part of it, just talking to them every day, finding out if everything was okay, making sure they are all right. So this is what we set up and ran. I think the dorm months was just for me the most amazing journey during the COVID, and I call it my COVID positive. Yeah. It was like more than a full-time job, because we also had Ramadan at that time. So we had to make sure that they would get that Ramadan meal in the morning to break the fast at 4 in the morning. So literally sometimes it was like a 24-hour job, and I used to be up till 2 and 3 because it was basically we were going with the flow. Every day there were new dorms, new people calling us and saying we're not getting food, or the food is spoiled, or the food is coming late, or it's not enough, or it's too much, and getting the right meals, vegetarian, Ramadan, halal food. So all this we had to manage, and we were a team. We were during circuit breaker. We had no systems. I mean, there's just a group of friends. We had lawyers and homemakers. We had some people who were good at sales, and here I was with Google Forms and Excel sheets and just trying to cope. We had caterers on one side, dorm. They are actually dorm brothers who work on sites. They are not supposed to be professional and giving you the right number at the right time and thing. So we had to put that whole thing together and somehow run and make sure somebody got a meal. And the worst was, Ruby, during a lockdown. The dorm is locked. I cannot drive there and give him meal, right? And he's calling me and saying, Amma, I don't have a meal today, or 10 brothers did not get a meal. And it's just the most horrible feeling, you can't sleep that night. So that was the work we had to, it was like driving us crazy. When I actually started talking to the dorm moms about what we need to do, I just thought, okay, we call everybody, get some numbers, and I give it to the caterers, and it's 2 hours a day maximum, at your time, flexible. And this is how I kind of recruited my friends as dorm moms, and thankfully they're still my friends today. It became literally like, we woke up in the morning, first thing checking your phone, has everybody got a meal? So that was like it was so busy, and it's not like something you've ever been prepared for or taught. There is no rule book. You're just trying to survive, to get a caterer, to get to a dorm on time. It sounds so simple, but it was like, oh my God, so hard. And especially the first 2 3 weeks was so tiring and so exhausting and so frustrating. What can I do? What am I going to do better? How can I make sure this doesn't go wrong? Every time somebody doesn't get something, you take it personally that you failed, right? And you're sitting in your house, everybody's baking, eating nice things, you can order in food, and this guy is sitting hungry in a dorm room. That was it's completely a different perspective. I completely forgot this CB completely. I didn't even know what was lockdown anymore, because I was in my from one pajama to the next pajama on my notebook, just getting things running, somehow getting things running. But now looking back, it was such a rewarding experience. I would not exchange it for anything else. That's the nice part of it. It doesn't go away. Like I call it dorm moms forever. You just can't. It's like your children, right? They go to college. Do they stop being your children? No. So yeah, the circuit breaker's over. They are back. I mean, we all know that the dorm guys can only go to work and back. They get very restricted hours to go out now recently, but before that they were still in the dorm. So you don't stop helping them. They do go back to work. They are still there in those clusters. They're still away from families. They still probably are scared what would happen to them, what happens if they get sick. They don't cannot buy stuff they want. Their overtime is restricted now. I mean, they're not working as long as they used to be before. Maybe I don't know about salary. Some get, some don't get. Employers are struggling with the whole situation, right? So there are a lot of dynamics there. I think I would say from really feeding them now, we are more into helping them, just being there for them. They just know, okay, Akka, you're there, Amma, you're there, kind of thing. Calling just to say hi. It's the giving them that mental health support. And of course, sometimes we take them things, we still take them right rations. We still cook food for them sometimes, and they take clothes. They can't go shopping, right? So some say, Mom, if you have some t-shirts, can you give us? Can you give us pillows? Can you give us bed sheets? Can you get a rice cooker? Sometimes we gave guys noodles. They don't even have bowls to put that hot water in. So these are the things. Now we know them so well. We talk to them all the time. So we're trying to support. The dog moms now have formed the group. We are actually more than we were when we started. And we are continuously doing something. It's like an addictive thing now. So we are like dog moms forever, so to say. Yeah. So now what we started is what I wanted to do, and this was a little bit of a dream, which I think has come true to some extent, but not as much as I wanted. Is called Dom to Home, because now they are not allowed to go out that much, right? Very restricted, maybe once a month, twice a month, 2 3 hours. So what we try to do is make a little place in their either the old canteen area or somewhere in wherever they would give us place, put a sofa, put a carpet, do something that looks like home, feels like home. So they can just sit, talk to their family, just sit there, 2 3 guys talk, sit with their mask, whatever, but put a dining table so they can eat there. Otherwise, they are sitting in their rooms on the floor and eating food. Right? So little things that remind them of home. Just know that, okay, we care, we're there for you. So this was Dom to Home that we started, and we have managed to, I think, between 10 and 15 DOMs easily we have done. Some have more place, some have less. We managed to get donations of carrom boards and TVs and games and various things. So just, get them started on that. So that has been received well. The other step we took is put in computers in some of the areas where, with the restrictions, it's a bit more difficult. That on Sundays they could come in, and we got some of the children to teach them computer skills. So just teach them basic computer skills, how to open an email, do your banking, some basic stuff. And they were enjoying that. So that we are trying to take to a bigger level, get more donations of notebooks and computers, and work closer with HIA, the dormitories, JTC. So get some place that we can teach them on a larger scale so that they can upgrade themselves, and later when they leave, they have some skill to take back with them. So this is what we are working on now. I have to thank you for this special skills, really, because I think the most important thing I learned in COVID, and I think learned from you, is to stop and smell the roses. Literally, I I think my husband also is so surprised that I keep an alarm and I was waking up at 5:45 to walk, because fitness and health was my lowest priority my whole life, right? And I think circuit breaker, I opened my eyes a bit. I quit my job, right? So I also had time to do things for me versus always running from one presentation and one closing year end to another. So I think there I have to thank you, because with the DD Divas, we did so many things on a lot of activities, lot of we did so many treks and walks in I really discovered Singapore. I've lived in Singapore more than 20 years, but believe me, what I saw in the last 6 months, I have not seen in 20 years. So that was something for me, something new that I did. I learned to discipline myself, learned to enjoy myself. I was not running for a walk with a headset and doing a conference call. I was like stopping. A 5 kilometer walk could take me 2 hours sometimes. You know how I am. Stop to look at water monitors and otters and anything. I would, and then I learned from you gardening. In a limited way, I could never keep a plant. A plant never lasted with me for more than, let's say, 1 month ever in my whole life. And now I have successfully over 20 plants. I could grow methi and mustard. And actually, I feel so happy when I can bring my own basil to the table or my own mint to the table. So all this I learned. I have the time for now. And I think this is the part of me that I did not know existed also, that I could do things and I could really enjoy that slow pace, just enjoying, like sometimes do nothing, picking up a book and just reading and just sitting down quietly, and it doesn't matter. So this part I think was for me a big blessing, and I want to say thank you to you, Ruby, for that, because you opened my eyes in so many ways. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I wanted to travel during this time, but never happened. And if you ask me if there's one wish I want, and I still want, is to go back, see my mom and my mother-in-law. That's the only wish. Before it was glamour travel and be in the south of France and somewhere in Brazil and blah blah blah. I think that for me is not important anymore. Is if you ask me, that one wish is to just go home and see them and come back. That's the one thing I would want to do. And what could I not do? I was always thinking I want to learn to cook. I haven't stepped anywhere close to the kitchen as yet. So I think I don't know what COVID taught me to do some walking. I don't know what will make me do cooking. So yeah, that's the only thing probably I still haven't got myself to do. But yeah, otherwise no. I think I was pretty happy trying and challenging new things and yeah, just enjoying myself. I think my message to all women are to just believe in yourself and follow your dreams really, because everything is possible. And some of us are, have something, but we always have something and we don't have something, right? So there's always ways you complement each other, and I think that support for each other is very important. So when you have it good, just try to lift somebody else up, because you don't know when your way is going down or what you need. And also, for those who feel less confident, there's no harm in asking, right? At best, the person can just say no, and so what. But ask for help, and try to follow your dreams. Really help each other, and I think there's so much one can do for another, right? So don't stay in that box. Try to do, and it's always do I have the time is what most people ask this question. I always say it's not do I have the time, how can I make the time? If you go with that kind of mentality, then there's so much more, it opens so much more for you in terms of exposure, in terms of just the experience. I mean, like in my own case during the COVID, right? I was with corporate for so many years, but this last 1 year, I didn't have this so-called fancy job. But I did so much, and I learned so much from so many different people, from really people I would probably not even talk to before. And if I had not stepped out and done those, taken that extra trouble of making those few calls to say, hey guys, this COVID, what can I do? How can I help you? Can I help you? I want to help you. If I didn't do that extra step, I wouldn't be the better person I am today. And this is where is my message to people: just look out for that other person, look out what you can do, not just try to just make the time and fit it in a small this thing, and just help each other and follow your dreams. Really follow your dreams, it can happen. The number of times I wore saris during this COVID time has been maximum more than what I did in 10 years. So I love saris in the sense of I can admire, and I really like people wearing saris, and I can I like the colors, I like the way people wear it. It really makes people look so wow. But for me personally, I could never wear a sari, right? I was so clumsy, and I feel it's falling here and there. So over this COVID time, I've learned, and as you can see, I'm in sari today. This one is my mom's sari, so she'll be very proud to see me in it. And so I'm learning to appreciate. I'm learning to understand, and learning to wear it also, not as nice as I want to this thing, but yes, I'm learning. I really can appreciate it much more now, and all the sessions you had on the weavers and thing, I'm definitely more interested in. I guess you started that spark as well, Rupi. Thank you. I think it makes you just look and feel great. Yeah. I think it definitely it's tradition and everything, but I don't know, when you wear a sari and just feel so nice, you just feel so dressed up, you just feel so wow.